Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the council. It's your girl, Cosette,
Lexi,
and Rachel.
and this week we're switching it up a little bit, and we're talking about something kind of sad. Well, not really sad, but
not so
sometimes-
fun.
Yeah, inevitably, sometimes in relationships we hit that standstill. We hit a point where there's a little bit of a relationship rut, and
it's an off season.
it's an off season, and how do we reignite that excitement? Do we? Is it worth it? What do we do there?
The questions we're asking ourselves in this episode.
So this week we are talking about being stuck on pause, how to get out of a relationship rut.
Wah, wah, wah.
Thank you, Rachel. I knew that was coming. I was like, Rachel's adding something over there.
But do you guys know, like, when you're in a relationship, whether it's with a situationship or a full-on relationship or what, you're not fighting, you're not having a great time, you're just kind of like, meh. You're just kind of like there. Have you guys been in that position?
Sorry.
We got distracted.
We got distracted.
Words coming in. There's outside commotion.
Yeah. Oh, I see a car chase on the highway
Is
right
that
now. White Bronco?
OJ? No, I'm sorry. OJ has passed. May not be.
Anyway.
Okay, anyways.
This is a bit.
A bit we're done now with. But so you're talking about a time when you're not necessarily having those fights. It's just like you're not sure you're feeling everything you should be feeling in that relationship.
there's
You may
no
not feeling
passion.
the love, the like upward, like
It just feels
Yeah.
like you're both co-living. It's almost
It's
like
the routine.
I think this
It's
happens
the
a lot
routine.
when you live with a partner, where you just get into this position where you're co-living together, but there's not actually any like partnership with
Yes.
it.
Actually, there's a phrase for that, and it's called the roommate phase. So basically, it's a phase in your relationship where everything's just constantly the exact same. There's not much switch up or variation, and it's essentially like your roommates,
Yeah.
You're just coexisting, you're living in the same space. So it does happen, and it is normal, but there are ways to get out of it.
That's a great point. I think when we get to that roommate stage with someone, you have two choices. You can, because usually when you're in that place where the passion's losing, you're feeling more like friends, you can either start falling out of love with that person, or you can both make a conscious effort to reignite that if it's something that you're interested in.
And I think we have talked up and down about different ways that you can go on dates and whether you're on a budget or how to make things special, how to like engage in your partner's love languages. So I know us three, we are constantly thinking about making sure our partners feel that love, feel that support, making sure that we're connected. But sometimes even us, we can fall into those routines. I know like I've moved in now with my boyfriend. We've lived together for majority of our relationship, which is 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I've
It was pretty quick.
I know. I definitely feel like we've fallen into those routine roommate stages where like, and that's the ebb and flow of things. Sometimes it's a recent vacation that gets us out of it. And I think that's what can help, that has helped us in the past is like we take a little trip. We get outside of our usual space and we go somewhere special. We either stay a night somewhere or we do that or, visit family somewhere. And it like changing that space for us kind of like reignites that spark or different conversations or different vibes. And then
So
we can
true.
come back and feel like we can go back to work and go into those routines.
You're
without
feeling more recharged.
Right. Feeling like, okay, we can do this routine with a little bit of a spunk in us. So that's helped us in the past.
Yeah.
I feel like before your mindset goes, oh, our relationship is in a rut, you have to evaluate what's going on. Was there a death in the family? Was there a switch in jobs? Does someone have no job? Are you getting a house? There's so many other exterior factors where, that could affect the relationship and the situation. And you just have to take that into consideration. Oh, okay. Is it because they don't care about me? Or is it because external factors that don't have to deal with us but are affecting us in the moment?
Yes, absolutely. Life stress is usually one of the most common reasons for this relationship rut. And parenting, they say a lot of times when you have your first child, you guys are both so exhausted and so focused on raising a human that a lot of times your relationship can kind of take a back seat or go to the back
Understandably.
burner.
And
Yeah.
so just to go off that and like talking about parenting, none of us are parents to children in this room. I have 2 dogs.
The children.
But something I heard from one of these influencers I follow, she said that she has 3 young boys. And she said something that has been controversial to other people is that she has said her husband and her marriage, it comes first before the children. And I understand what she meant in that is that, of course, we love our children and we're going to be there, but you cannot let your children be the priority to your marriage. And I think sometimes that's what people are scared about in parenting. What I've been scared about is that we put all our love and focus into now raising this person, and that we don't realize that our marriage or our relationship still needs nurturing, that we still need to go on those dates. We still need to like have those fun times and check in with each other and say like, oh, are you tired this week? Like, what can I do? What can you do? Like, how can we help each other? Because, I mean, you have to nurture that and raise that just like you're doing your child. So when she said that, and I talked to my parents about that same notion, they said, absolutely, you have to continuously touch base with your partner and say like, let's go on those Friday date nights. Let's do this, because the children, you do need to raise them, but they're a lot more resilient than you give them credit for. Like, you don't have to helicopter. You don't have to do that.
You also need to give them a good example of a relationship and love. And like,
that's
love needs tending. We've talked about how you should never stop dating. And I think another way to kind of reignite that passion and love there is experience something new that you both haven't experienced before, like going camping or going skydiving or bungee jumping or whatever it is, like a new shared experience that you guys can have together.
Yeah.
And that always like just makes things exciting.
It's because you're, again, that association is with that person, with that, like you're experiencing the same feeling or maybe slightly different feelings. But I love that idea. Yeah, that's a great one. But when is the rut something maybe more internal, and that the relationship isn't for you, or that you're struggling with that person in that relation, rather than like, okay, we're in a roommate phase? Like, when do you know that? Have either of you experienced that?
Yeah, I have. I went through a long-term relationship that was like about 3.5 years, and we lived together, and it got to the point towards the end where it felt like the roommate phase. Like, it felt like we were co-living with each other. We were really good friends, but it didn't feel like we were in love anymore.
It didn't feel like you were special.
And so I tried to do a lot of things to like reignite, like the date cards, we've talked about all of that. But it's not that, like, a lot of times with this emotional autopilot, it's not that anyone is doing anything wrong. It's just that no one's doing anything. And so it felt just, I got comfortable with being like, okay, well, this is just, I obviously like care about this person, but it doesn't feel like we're in like a passionate relationship or anything like that, which is what I want. And so I made the decision where I was like, you know what, I feel like a roommate, I feel a little bit like a mother, to be honest. Like, I was doing a lot of the cooking and cleaning, and this is just like not what I'm looking for. And so when I opened that conversation, it was actually a shock to him, because that was like a one-sided relationship route where he thought everything was fine. Like, he was living in the comfortability of
this
like
is security.
Yeah, being like, okay, this is fine for me. So realized that we had different needs in the way that, like, for me, I was looking for a relationship where we were constantly dating each other. And it was also like during the COVID pandemic, so maybe things were different in that sense as well. That was so long ago. That's crazy that COVID was so long ago. But yeah, like, sometimes it's about sitting down and talking with your partner and being like, I miss us. Like, have you noticed that things have been kind of quiet lately? Like, do you notice the difference? Which is maybe something I could have done more of before, so that it didn't seem so blindsiding. I don't regret anything, because it wasn't the relationship for me at the end of the day. But yeah, like, trying to, maybe if you do feel like, well, we're at a standstill, but this is the person I want to be with, sitting down and being like, okay, like, let's do a little honest check-in. Like, how can we reignite? And hopefully they have the same effort or interest in reigniting.
Yeah, I think it comes down to being vocal and honest with how you're feeling about, inside, about the situation. Because if you're just keeping it all to yourself, then how will they know?
Yeah.
And if you're with the right person for you, they'll be receptive to that, and they'll hear those concerns, and they'll
say that they felt the same way.
Exactly. Like, maybe they're like, oh my God, we've checked in. It's like that Pina Colada song, right? They both put that ad in, like,
the newspaper.
They put in the ad, and they realize that they're meeting each other.
We've talked about this in an episode.
I know, I think we have, but like, yeah, we definitely have. But it's just such a interesting song. They've been married for so long. They like each other, but they love to get a little, like, they want that passion, and then they realize they both want that passion, and we love each other. Like, oh my God, we just needed to talk about it. And I mean, it's a great song. It's a funny song. And it's so real, because here we are, full circle, just talking about it, I think, again. I think acknowledging that when you're feeling like that, it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to still need that kind of dating energy. You can't just fall into those ruts because, I don't know, it sounds, to put it kind of plainly, boring.
Yeah.
Like, don't you want to keep making new memories, making new experiences? You don't want to just fall into the same routine. So much of life is routine.
Yeah.
And your partner is supposed to be that person to confide and talk about different things and do different things.
You just got to remember that, you know, in every relationship, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be stagnant times, and it really just comes down to being verbal, being vocal, and being honest with yourself and how you're feeling. If you're like, okay, this maybe isn't the relationship for me, or no, you know, we're just super busy and have a lot going on. Like, we still love each other so much. We just need to be open and talk about it.
It always comes down to communication. And
It does.
we actually have broken down into 4 different categories, different practical ways to reconnect with someone when you feel like you're in a relationship rut. And I really like how these are categorized. The first one is just reigniting curiosity. Things
That's
like
great.
relearning like each other, asking deeper questions rather than like the
'Cause
typical
we're
like
constantly changing.
yeah, the typical in
Yes.
passing
Yeah.
like, oh, how was your day? More of like, tell me a play by play. How did that make you feel? Trying a new activity together, like I mentioned. This is the first category, curiosity. Planning like a no phones night. A lot of times when you're just like
Ooh,
in each
I love
other's,
that.
you're just like
I've-
scrolling.
I love that.
I've heard like
Yeah.
I just read that there was a couple that after 8 p.m. they both know they no longer use their phones. Whether that's they've had the longest day at work, they just make the effort that like no more phones. It's
love
now
that.
us time, and it's like yeah, you can do that for one another. You can do that for your relationship.
Yeah. Second category is emotional tuning. So that's like retaking the love languages, kind of like I said, relearning each other's emotional needs, expressing appreciation, that validation. Wow, we're really bringing everything together this episode.
I know.
And then leaving notes for one another, sending flirty texts, small little surprises. Like that's something that should never
My
go away.
favorite category.
Exactly. So that's emotional tuning. Third, we have physical closeness, which I like that this is not just
Maybe
about
that's my favorite category.
that's
my
not
favorite
just about
category.
intimacy. It's about like non-sensual or non-sexual touches, like hugging,
No,
holding hands. Like,
I love
yeah, casual like
yes.
arm around. If you're watching, like
Oh
I
my
love
gosh, the
holding
arm
waist.
around.
Yeah, like when you're at home watching something on TV together, like you're cuddling. Like there's more of a physical closeness instead of like going about your own routines. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't remember like. When I was in this relationship that I had mentioned, like we were running on different sleep schedules. We were running on different schedules. Like he would play video games until really late. I would fall asleep. I'd wake up a lot earlier than him. And we were not on the same circadian rhythm whatsoever. So it made it very difficult to have those moments of physical closeness.
Yeah.
So physical closeness is the third. And the fourth is mutual reflection. That's communication, as Rachel was talking about. Just talking about like what did we do together in the beginning that made us fall in love with each other? Shared our needs, like now that the dynamic has shifted, how can we shift what we're doing to meet each other? And so I think those are just really good.
Those
like
are. I need
4
those like
things
on my mirror. Or something.
I need them like tattooed
I know,
on
right?
my arm. But yeah, those are really
Or
good.
we need this podcast.
Those are really good, just like tips. I think to if you feel like you're in kind of a standstill, those are good ways.
You know, that made me think about when you're reading those 4 is I was thinking about this the other day. How healthy is it to bring up the past in your relationship?
between
Because-
the two of you or your
Well,
past.
yeah, like no, between the two of you. Like I find myself constantly reaching out to Mr. Ryan and be like, remember when we first met and we went to that dinner and we like had pasta and like, oh, that was such like a really I felt so close to you and like remember this and remember that. And I often reflect on the past. Not I love our future, but I'm always like I just love, like, I love you. I love this, like, closeness. And I reflect back thinking, like, how can I bring that same energy? I'm constantly like, I will never fall into a rut. How do we do this? But it's inevitable, and everyone has those ups and downs. But I'm just wondering, you know, like you're saying, having those conversations and reflection on, you know, past communication or past romantic feelings and how is it evolved, and should we recreate those first date or anniversary dates, or you know, like I'm a big
Don't you go back to the same place every
well, I love to like recreate our bowling dates. So like I like celebrate our meet-iversary and I celebrate our anniversary.
Celebrate it
because-
all.
Yep.
More
I think
celebrations.
More celebrations. I know. I'm like, celebrate everything. I don't care. Valentine's Day, celebrate. You don't have to go out, but celebrate.
I saw something
Yeah.
on TikTok that was really cute, and it was obviously like we love finding reasons to celebrate, and this couple just looked at like on one day they wanted to like go on a date together. They looked up what holiday was that day. So like National Donut Day, for example. And
That
every
is
year they make a big
smart.
deal to like celebrate National Donut Day. So they'll like cook
has
donuts
to be my
for all their
favorite moment.
friends and they'll drop it off at their friends' doors and like all their friends know that they just celebrate National Donut Day. But it's something as simple as like National
easy.
Biker Appreciation Day.
There's
Aw.
like crazy days for
Picking-
every single day of the
Picking
month.
like a couple's holiday that's one of those random holidays like national
that.
like National Sunshine Day. There's something for everything. Did you know that you can buy a national holiday?
yeah,
So-
you can.
You can?
It's expensive.
Well,
It's
this company that I work with, GHG, they just bought Good National Good Hair Day.
Wow.
And so now it's on the calendar once a year. It's just the national official Good Hair Day.
Oh my gosh.
So,
was that
yeah.
expensive?
Well, I mean, it's a company buying it. I wouldn't buy it like as an
Yeah.
individual.
That's wild.
But I think that like picking a specific holiday like that could be a really fun extra reason to celebrate. And maybe if you're in a relationship that feels like it's at a standstill, that's like a good way of making something kind of
Okay,
exciting.
do you want to hear today's national holidays?
Ooh, what's
Yes.
today's national-
According to National
Okay.
Today.
There's probably gonna be like 50.
Yeah. National Librarian Day.
Oh, that's
Let's
you.
read a book for sure.
That's
Yeah.
you, Lexi.
Selena Day.
Oh,
Which
like
is-
the Selena?
Yep, Selena
Okay.
song to remember the incredible impact on the Tejano crooner had on music. So I hope I pronounced that right. Wear pajamas to work day.
Oh,
so
Rachel's
that's
wearing her
April
slippers.
16th.
I am. I'm wearing
That's
slippers.
today?
Yep, that's today.
Shoot. We should have been wearing pajamas. That's what I'm saying.
Also, everyone knows when we're recording this.
Oh yeah. That's right.
I was like,
Okay.
okay. I was like, April 16th. Birthday of Jose de Diego.
Happy birthday, Jose Diego.
Yep. Day of the Mushroom.
Oh,
Okay.
And Foursquare Day.
Foursquare.
Holy Wednesday. Oh, yeah, of course. It's Holy Wednesday.
Wow.
National
See?
Banana Day. Yeah, we
There's
got
a
many.
million.
There's many days today.
Ex Benedict Day, guys.
Many
guys,
celebrations.
We got to make some. That is a great. I love that idea. That is so much fun.
So when you go about choosing a day, what makes you choose one day over, like a specific date over another? Or is it like random?
You could either like randomly draw a number. Like they had said that they were already planning on having a date that night. Like they were early on in their stages of dating, and they just had this idea of like, oh, let's make it specific to what day it is. And now now they've been together for many years. I don't remember their handle. Otherwise, I'd give them a little shout out. But yeah, now they just celebrate it every year, and all their friends know. And I think that that's just
I
really
think that's
sweet.
so cute.
I love that.
I think that's a great way to get out of a rut or kind of just like reignite something new and fun to do with
Yeah.
each other. And we've talked about it before, but kind of engaging with your playful, youthful, childish side can be a really great way to bring back that like young energy and like get out of a routine state or a roommate frame of mind. Like I think that's
Yes.
kind of key.
I think it's definitely so important to see the playful side of your partner, the side that you could be silly, you could be, messy or just like mess
Yeah.
around,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Is like having a relationship that you feel totally comfortable and embraced by. But yeah, I mean, any closing remarks?
Ruts are never easy, but they do happen because, like you said, parenting,
natural.
life transitions, fluctuations with just your body getting older. I mean, a lot of things are constantly happening. Missing a syllable there, but you have to, like Rachel, you constantly say communication is so important, and realizing that there may be other things that are affecting your partner or yourself, and what are they willing to give at this time, and what are you willing to do to allow the grace for your partner and say, like, this is the relationship for me. First of all, like, kind of like evaluate, is this the relationship, is it the person, or is it like the time frame which we're in? And then I think kind of moving forward with whatever direction, like, okay, he needs the week or they need the week. Let me check in with them. Okay, they're still struggling. When is it something that we may need to go to therapy, or maybe you need to talk? Like, maybe it's extending out of that time where you're like, we need to start addressing something because it's affecting both our mental health, and I want you to be happy. I want to be happy.
Yeah.
Because sometimes ruts, if you're not really prepared to get out of it, it can affect the relationship and end the relationship.
Absolutely.
And that's tough. That's always tough. But, hopefully you both are seeking out what you need. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I think all in all, just it is okay to be in a rut. That is normal. It'll happen. There'll be, like I said, high moments and low moments. it's okay.
And it doesn't just have to be a day fight. Like they can be extended
periods of time.
It's
just analyze the situation and what you're in, and sometimes it's nobody's fault.
Yeah.
You guys are just like, oh my gosh, we got suckered into a routine.
into the Rachel. You're like, yes.
No, relationships don't need to be perfect, but they are like a baby and they need to be nurtured. And they say that a rut is not a death sentence, but it's just a signal for you to realize that something's going on. But also,
You're always bringing up these like great little one.
I just
like,
my head
these
is
little
full
quips.
of
Yeah.
one-liners.
Like,
but yeah, I think even if you don't feel like you're heading towards a rut, keep things exciting just to avoid that.
I think that's maybe I think too much, but I'm constantly in fear mode of like, we could any day be in a rut now, and we need to do something spicy. And sometimes my partner's like, "Isn't this okay that we just laid down?" I'm like, "What does that say about us? Like, if we're just tuning into a movie at night, no, we have to do.
It needs to be an activity.
Wild.
Yeah.
So there's a balance for sure, guys.
So we challenge everyone to try something new in your relationship this week.
I'm ready to pick a new holiday. I'm gonna come home and be like, let's pick a day. Let's pick a holiday.
that sounds like so fun. Like,
yeah, that does sound really fun.
We're gonna have a date night at the end of the week
I would
on
like,
Saturday.
Exactly. I love that. I would like to challenge Mr. Tennis, who I know is listening to this, to pick a holiday and bring it to me.
Oh, he will. Let us know which one he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better. Anyway, that's the episode.
I challenge Mr. Wright to listen to this episode
Oh, he will.
and pick a holiday.
Girl, he won't. Unless you strap him down.
It'll be like
and
at
plug-
minute 19.
You have to be
this
playing the episode for him, though.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, even then, I'll be like, did you hear that? You're like, huh? What?
I was thinking
What?
about babe.
Wait,
I'm
babe,
writing. I'm working.
Yeah, babe, I heard that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Anyway, thanks so much, guys, for listening. Try something new. Write in and let us know what you
Yeah,
try
tell
out.
us your stories.
We love the TikTok comments. Make sure you're following and subscribe to us on all platforms.
5 stars.
We got the Council the Podcast on Instagram, the Council the
TikTok.
Podcast on TikTok, the Council Podcast on YouTube.
Yes. And Spotify.
And Spotify,
And
of
Spotify.
course, the Council. And yeah, thanks guys so much. Signing off. This is Cosette.
Lexi.
And Rachel.
Bye.